Homeownership is often regarded as a big part of the American dream. However, getting to it is sometimes confusing. That's why it's always good to have an expert guide you through the process. Hi, I'm Beverly Brister, and I'm here today with Chris Corral, who is our VP of First Mortgages, to explain the mortgage process for us. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm good, Beverly. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. So let's start with a few common questions. Can you explain the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approved?
Certainly. So one thing you want to keep in mind is that sometimes depending on what lending institution you're speaking to, the exact requirements for pre-approval or pre-qualification can vary. Having said that, a pre-approval is just considered a bit stronger than a pre-qualification. So for example, a pre-qualification is sometimes issued just based solely on information that an applicant provides verbally. Whereas with a pre-approval, a lender is generally going to take things a step or two further. So that could mean pulling credit or requesting certain documentation like income or assets.
So how does one determine how much home they can afford?
So affordability is typically determined using what lenders would refer to as debt-to-income ratio, or DTI. So essentially, as long as your total monthly obligations don't exceed a certain percentage of your monthly income, which is generally around 43 to 45%, then you're likely to qualify.
So is a down payment required? And if so, how much?
A down payment is required. Proponent offers mortgages with as little as 3% down, provided that certain criteria are met. Now, again, something you want to keep in mind is that in addition to a down payment, there's other expenses you'll need to budget for. So those are things like closing costs, prepaid taxes, insurance, moving expenses, and so forth. So we found that a general good rule of thumb is that you want to have about 10% of the sales price available to you. And that's even if you plan to put down less, like say 3% or 5%.
Now, how does a person's credit affect their mortgage options?
So again, this is one of those things that can kind of change from one lender to the next, but generally speaking, lower credit equates to higher fees and higher interest rate. Now, one thing that's a bit unique about Proponent is that credit actually does not affect our first mortgage rates. So if you have a little bit lower of a credit score, you might pay a little bit more in fees, but it's not going to affect the interest rate that we can offer you.
That's great. So here at Proponent, we have several different options that a person can take according to their budget and their lifestyle. Can you explain what they are?
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, there's quite a variety and quite a few options. But to give you a few examples, of course, we offer long-term fixed rate loans. So that's your standard 30-year fixed loan product. It's a great option if, say, someone is buying their first home, they plan to stay there indefinitely. We also offer adjustable rate loans. So that's a great option if, let's say, you don't plan to be in the home forever. Either you're going to sell it in a few years or the family's going to outgrow it. And then we have shorter term fixed rates as well. So those are things like your 10-year fixed. That's a great option maybe for someone who's downsizing and not borrowing a large amount of money.
Great, great. So can you walk us through the mortgage process?
Absolutely. So it's actually quite a bit less involved than people tend to sometimes think. Typically, the first step is to get pre-approved. That's what's going to enable you to go out there and shop for homes and view different properties. Once you've come to an agreement with a seller, we're going to ask the member to send in a copy of that contract, start compiling supporting documents. Again, those are things like your pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements. We're also going to order an appraisal on the property, title work, and once everything is complete and that file is ready to go, the closing takes place and move into your new home.
Great. So what are the benefits of getting a Proponent mortgage versus another financial institution?
Well, certainly I think there's a lot of benefits. I mean, from our product lineup to quick turn times to our amazing staff. And that's really where I feel like our members see it, is in the level of service that they get. Our staff is always willing to go the extra mile and ensure that our members are satisfied with the mortgage process.
Wow. So from the online tools and the resources that we have, it sounds like we have everything a person needs to get started.
Oh, we sure do.
Yes. So how does a person start the application process?
So if they're not already a member, they're going to want to go to our website and check the membership eligibility section. If they are eligible to join, they can submit a membership application right online. Once the membership is open, they can come back to our website, visit the mortgage section, and click the Apply Now button.
Well, thank you, Chris, so much for coming in today and breaking down the mortgage process.
Oh, thank you, Beverly. It was really nice chatting with you.
You as well. And there's still more to come. Chris will be back to talk about the mortgage refinancing process. Thanks for watching.